So I thought I'd do a quick video to show you guys my detailing trolley. I bought the trolley off of Amazon, I think, and the reason I bought it was that it's a collapsible garage trolley. It's got a lever at the back. I'll show you just there, and once you pull it upwards, the whole trolley collapses and folds into a compact unit. I've got a lot of stuff in my garage, so I didn't want something that was going to be in the way or keep having to wheel it this way and that way just to get by. So that's the reason I bought it. I did modify it as I modify a lot of things that I buy, and the first modification I did was I placed these kind of, I think they're cable, self-adhesive cable pads. They've got these little hooks, if you can see them, where I think the cables would, that would be stuck onto the side of a desk, or, you know, wherever you had cabling, and you would then clip the cable inside to hold it nice and tidy. I used it on the trolley. They got strong adhesive pads, so it's sitting there quite firm. And I got this buckets. I got two of them. I got one larger one here, and I've got a smaller one on that side, hung on in the same way. And basically, I think these were from an old recycling kitchen bin that I had. The pedals broke, so I threw the bin away, but I kept the buckets because they look pretty sturdy and I could use them. So I kept them, and funny enough, they've come into good use. And they're hung onto the side of the trolley. I'll show you how they're hung on. So they basically unclip there and unhook at the bottom, so they come away like that. The hooks at the bottom are the same ones, as you can see, and it hooks onto the shelf at 2 points here. So that's the first bit there, like that. Once it's on, then the bar or the handle just hooks into place there and there, and it's perfectly firm. At the moment, I've got my lance and I've got my SGS 35 stubby inside and a brush. Obviously, once those are hooked up onto the jet wash, I would. My intention is to use that for keeping my used towels, so they don't drag on the floor. They get thrown around and they stay pretty free of dust and muck in the bin until they get put in the washing machine. The other bin on the other side I would just use for odd bits and pieces, perhaps just rubbish that you'd find in the car, and just empty it in the bin once we're done. The other modification I did was to drill some holes out into the front handles of either shelf. It folds in the middle there. It's got handles on either side just to pull it up when you're done. So what I did was drill holes in the handles. I've got 3 on each one, just to hold my brushes when I'm cleaning or when I'm using them. Just to show you what I have. Oh, sorry, one other thing was these little bins I found on Amazon. I think they're used in the kitchen to put over your washing rack or kitchen cabinet doors and so on. They hang on, but they're hung on. What I did was just apply a bit of heat, and I don't know if you can see it. I bent the handles, if you want to call them that, over a little bit tighter, closer to the body, so they hook on to the shelf here quite easily. I put this spacer at the bottom just to hold it tight underneath there, so they don't get flicked upwards. If you've got bits inside and you knock it accidentally, they had a tendency to pop off. But at the moment, because of that little yellow spacer, which gives it a bit of thickness and hooks onto the bottom here, once you put it in place, it doesn't, I'm giving it quite a bit of push, it doesn't come up unless you pull forward and then pull upwards. So I've got 6 of those, which I can use randomly wherever I want them. I've got At the top, on the top, I've got a little container with all my detailing brushes. I've got these bottles from Auto Finesse to hold my mixtures. I've got Yum Undress in there, Yum Windows, and Yum Wheel Cleaner. I've got a spray bottle with citrus in it. I've got my SGS foam cannon. At the back there, I've got a tray which I bought off the internet and modified a little bit. The modification were these metal bars I put in at very specific widths to hold my bottles in place, because the trays weren't tight enough. So as in when the trolley's being rolled around, they could have basically fallen out. So this holds it perfectly in place, and as you can see, it lifts out. I actually have a few of those, so that would just lift out, and when I'm done, go straight into its position there. I've got other trays there with other chemicals and bits and pieces, polishes and so on there. So that's the good thing about that. Underneath, I've got these small bins, perfect size for the trolley. They sit perfectly tight. I've got microfibers in there, and I've got my microfiber drying towels in the bottom there, bottom one. Extension cable on the side to use if I need to for either the vacuum or the polisher. I've got another little container bin there to hold my bits and pieces that I use. So basically that's the trolley. I got a container outside, storage bin, that I use for my other bits and pieces. Got wash buckets and 5-gallon containers of the other solutions as well. So that's basically it. Hope you guys like the video. See you next time. Bye.